Welcome everybody to another episode of Providence Lucha Talk. This is Luisito, and I'm here to give you my thoughts, my opinions, and my predictions for War Games happening today at the Performance Center. It should be interesting. We're gonna have 5 matches today. December 6th. It's gonna happen around 7 o'clock. We're gonna have 5 matches. It's gonna be basically 3 matches, 1 title fight, and 2 matches in War Games in the cage, basically 2 rings around a cage. Also, I found kind of interesting today that we only going to have 1 title match. So that means the Cruiserweight up to now, what I know, is not going to be defended. Also, the Women's Championship is not going to get defended. And also, the NXT Men's Championship is not going to get defended. So only the North American is going to be defended tonight. So it should be a good match, and it should be a good pay-per-view as well, because basically they gave us quality over quantity, especially for today. Let's begin with our predictions. We have Tommaso Ciampa against Timothy Thatcher. This feud has been building up for almost a month, a little bit after the NXT TakeOver match. Basically, I feel like it's the battle of the gatekeepers, because they both are set up to basically set everybody up for the mid-card division, even for the upper card. But I think this match should be very technical. I know Tommaso Ciampa's been kind of doing some brain games and kind of like messing with Timothy Thatcher's head for a while. So they're finally going to battle each other, and it's going to be hopefully the end of this. But I think Tommaso Ciampa, it's his time to kind of progress and continue to see where he stands, if he goes to the mid-card, goes for the North American Championship, or go against Finn Balor for the NXT title. So Tommaso Ciampa for the win for this one. Up next, we have Dexter Lumis against Cameron Grimes in a strap match. They had a match back in Halloween Havoc last month in October, well, a couple of months ago in October. They had the match, and I feel like it wasn't culminated. So I feel like the feud between the two has to come to an end. And I feel like the strap match, they can get away from each other. I like what they do with Dexter Lumis. His submission move, his power. I know he was out for injury for a little bit, so Cameron Grimes got it easy. But there's something about Cameron Grimes. I don't know. I feel like he's growing on me. We all know he's a little bit annoying, eccentric, weird. But I feel like that makes him different than everybody else, especially for the mid-card, for the North American title picture. I feel he could be the next person up. But I think for me, I'm picking Cameron Grimes to move on, and Dexter Lumis to pick a different opponent or different feud with somebody else, and keep building from there to potentially go up to the upper levels to maybe NXT title or even North American. But I think it's Cameron Grimes' time now, and I feel like he's going to come out successful and finally get over the Dexter Lumis looming over him overall for this contention. So Cameron Grimes for this one. Next, we have the North American Championship. It's going to be defended in a triple threat match between Ruff, Damian and Gargano. This been a good feud. We all seen the development of Ruff since when he started until now. We seen him getting signed. Congrats to him and his fiance. He proposed to her, I think, last week and a couple of weeks ago. So that's what it comes with the perks of being a champion. But congrats to him. I think it's going to be a good feud because basically everybody beat each other so far. Damian Priest was basically the former champion. Gargano beat him. Then Ruff basically beat him. So they all 3 been at it, and I liked how they're making the program between the 3. But I think for story purposes and kind of, I feel like NXT needs something different and something interesting, especially seeing a new face, especially like Ruff. I still think my guy Ruff, he's going to come victorious out of this one. I don't know how he's going to pull it off, because we're going to have Damian Priest, the powerhouse, and we have Johnny Gargano as the technical wrestler. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I really think Ruff is going to come. I want him to win 1 pay-per-view at least and carry on, maybe until next year, until the next pay-per-view. But my guy Ruff is taking the W for this one, for this triple threat. And also normally for War Games, we have basically War Games. The whole concept is 2 rings and a cage, and we have teams of 5 going against each other. Basically the battle of the teams. And so we have a women's War Games, and we also have a men's War Games. The first War Games we have is the woman. So we have Team Shotzi against Candice LeRae. I like that they're building a story for basically all the top women in the division. and basically all could potentially be contenders for Io Shirai's title. The only thing, kind of side note, I didn't like it's that the title's not being defended, one, and also they weren't able to build a kind of a program for the title, because we have basically out of all everybody here could be a contender for the NXT Women's Championship. But we're going to get War Games, which is going to be a lot of spots. Going to see their strength, ability, everything's going to be mayhem inside this cage. But for Team Shotzi Blackheart, we have Shotzi Blackheart, we have Io Shirai, Ember Moon, and also Rhea Ripley. Team Candice LeRae, we have Toni Storm, Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai. I like that Toni Storm got basically a turn and she became a heel, joined basically Candice LeRae's group. Toni Storm needed something different, especially coming from UK, and we all thought about her kind of like a babyface now. We get to see her true colors and kind of different character change. Also, we saw Io Shirai last week helping out Shotzi Blackheart get the advantage, and they're going to have an advantage in the War Games. But I think Team Candice LeRae will win this War Games. I feel there's going to be a miscommunication between Team Blackheart. I know this basically the logo, it's the tank. Shotzi Blackheart, also Shotzi Blackheart was the host for Halloween Havoc, but I think Candice LeRae's team needs to win. And also the X Factor, we have Candice LeRae's friend in the back. I know she was injured and stuff, but she helped out last week with the ladder. I think she's might be an X Factor for this match. So I think Candice LeRae will come out victorious. And they also need to win basically in the heels to build more program, because the good guys it's fine for them to win, but the heels for this one, Candice LeRae will win. And I think Candice LeRae will be the one who picks up the win over somebody and Shotzi Blackheart's team. Also, up next and final, we have the men's War Games. We have Team Undisputed Era against Team McAfee. Undisputed Era, we have Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole, baby. And we have Pat McAfee's team, which is Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, and we also have Birch and Oni Lorcan. So, as I mentioned before, formerly in the women's division, we don't have the women's title being defended. And also, we don't have the tag teams being defended because they're taking part of the War Game. This feud's been building up between Pat McAfee and the Undisputed Era. Pat McAfee has been basically a great acquisition for NXT and WWE, being a promoter, being basically the voice outside of the ring and coming from the outside. So I feel like it's been a good acquisition for the company. He lost the last pay-per-view against Adam Cole, and I know the Undisputed Era has not been in a good winning streak, but I think that winning streak doesn't start today, because I think they're gonna start losing. I feel like Pat McAfee will win, and I feel like that's gonna find a way for Pat McAfee to take the win and continue on. I feel like this is gonna be the beginning of the Undisputed Era. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna get called up to main event or they're gonna called up eventually, hopefully by Royal Rumble before WrestleMania next year. Moving on to SmackDown or Raw, or even as a unit or separately. But for today, War Games, Pat McAfee, that team looks pretty strong, and they've been building a great story. So it's time for Pat McAfee to continue and rule NXT for the meanwhile. This is my prediction for War Games. I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe to all social media. Providence Lucha Talk on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And also you can hear our podcast and also our streams on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. These are my picks. Thank you for tuning in. Till the next time.